No shame.
All right, boys. Shall we get this party started here?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Badlands podcast. Coming off of our Thanksgiving trip, which this was year 11, I believe.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Sounds right to me.
That's crazy to think.
Yeah.
11 years.
I know.
And so that's kind of a crazy trip that, I mean, not really crazy, but it's has evolved quite a bit from all of us camping in our trucks with rooftop tents or ground tents. And now everybody's got families and RVs and cab overs.
Big
and
setups.
Kids running around.
Some people got some big setups,
Big setups, bunch of kids.
But yeah, so I just kind of thought we'd just kind of do a little rehash on that. And we've got Bruce with the Super Duty that's been on here before. Michael, Fab Lab, Scotty, with the red 4Runner. I have to like give the, people know trucks. They might not know names.
Yeah, they don't know names.
The
They
red
remember trucks.
Go Fast 4Runner and then the Calico 4Runner that's all different colors.
Oh, you mean the Mater truck?
The
Mater.
the Frankenrunner.
The Frankenrunner is what it used to be called, I think. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, a little bit about our DMC Thanksgiving trips. I mean, we started 11 years ago, and it was just basically like an email went out, and it was like, hey, we're going to do this, and it's evolved to, we had like 50 some odd people or something out there this year.
But it was still an email.
Yeah.
Still, every year, it still starts with the email.
Yeah.
What's great about it, though, is like, I feel like when we first started it, the email began maybe like May, June. Right?
Oh, yeah. Nowadays, it's like...
bunch of planning, and now it's
nowadays, it's like
point.
maybe 2 weeks before.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, we're still going.
Everyone knows the program. Everyone like gets the gist of what's happening. It's like, here's just a reassuring email of where we're going to be camping.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it's kind of like everybody's on autopilot because everybody knows, and then it's also like from the planning end, asking 50 people like, where do you think we should go? And you get all it's like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna kind of pick some,
pick a destination.
And we usually try to go like where no one's at, and now we're starting to realize like there's a reason no one goes out to Cuddy Back.
Right.
There's nothing out there.
100%. And we've been to Cuddy Back, I feel like, for Thanksgiving half of the time we've gone, so we're 6 times we've been out there, and it's like, okay, Husky Memorial's great, but we've seen it.
But clearly the group's vehicles have evolved too.
Sure.
Right? So I think Johnson Valley is a lot more appealing for like the mixed
That's right.
100%.
vehicles we got,
Yeah.
kind of checks all those things you want to do. So
Yeah, no
Now
doubt.
that people are going a little bit slower, it's definitely more fun.
Well, and we still, I mean, usually what we'll do is we have like a 1 or 2 big runs during the trip, and previously it would be like in the pre-runners, and then this trip with the crawlers, it was kind of cool that like Mai Tai put together that big run that was like I think it was like 70 or 80 miles.
I did half of it and came back because I had my kids, and that was a lot.
Sure.
So.
But then we just kind of messed around. Like Cougar Buttes is where we went this year, and I mean that's like Disneyland for rock crawlers.
that spot was so good.
Yeah,
it was so good.
And we just scratched the surface of probably what's there.
I can't believe, like, at first glance, I'm like, oh, I see like a couple trails around here, but like the more I'm standing, I was like, wait, that's a line. Wait, that's a line. And then all of a sudden we're like just doing these lines. I don't know if they were lines, but they turned out to be really sick lines.
well, it's funny. We were walking around doing RC crawlers.
Oh, yeah.
With our remote control trucks, and it was like, wait a minute, I could drive this line off.
You take a truck up this, no problem. We spent all of whatever Saturday, was it Saturday?
Yeah.
I think it was
Like all of Saturday within like 100 yards from camp wheeling. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the motto for the year, or for this year, was to try and like do something where we can include everybody.
Yeah, for sure. That was
Because in
perfect.
past, it's like desert pre-running, and the pre-runners, only so many people can go. Mom and dad end up staying behind, but like it was really
Not enough
cool
seats in
because
trucks.
I think everybody felt included this year.
Absolutely.
Kids, moms and dads, everybody.
Well, the spectator group on the rock, there was just a couple trucks over there, but there was
It was great.
20, 30
it was
people on
actually
the rocks.
great training for King of the Hammers.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All the heckling, it was.
Yeah.
Why not?
My wife with the 1-month-old could just walk over and like watch us do stupid stuff and be like,
That's so
okay, I'm
cool.
done with this, and then just walk right back to the camp. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were talking about that too, like with the pre-runner runs, it's like only the people that are with you on that run in vehicles are able to kind of experience that. And, you know, obviously whoever goes is like, yeah, this is rad. But the crawler stuff, I mean, I think that's one of the attractions to going out to some of the Hammers trails or, you know, King of the Hammers. You can, if you could get to the trailhead and hike up there, you can watch.
Well, it's also
all kinds
super,
of
like,
stuff.
the spectators are also super involved if they start to spot and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like, it was definitely more of like a group effort.
Totally.
With the crawling stuff.
Totally.
Which made it fun. For sure.
Yeah, and then, so you, Scotty and Mikey, you guys both brought both trucks.
Yeah.
Both trucks.
It was a big weekend.
Which,
Big week.
which for me, because I was sick half the trip, was a giant fail. I never drove a Bronco
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, so it just was
on and off
hard.
the trailer.
Pretty much.
Sounded cool.
Yeah. It sounded cool. Thank
Sounds
you.
cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But yeah, so you went
No,
on the run with Mai Tai, or you stayed back?
I stuck around.
Yeah.
So for me, the big thing this year was like I got my whole, my extended family's always out there, but my wife and my 2 kids this time, not just Ryder. So that was a big thing for me this year, and they were there, so I was like, I'm gonna stick around camp.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. You did the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so and I was gonna say you wheeled the Explorer for the first time.
I sure did.
Which that thing works pretty damn well.
So
Out of
far,
the box.
we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
excited to.
40s and links, man.
Yeah.
That's a recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 tons and 40s is it definitely makes it easier than you guys for sure. So we're gonna have
the auto.
we're gonna have to really push it next time we go out to just kind of at least maybe figure out some limitations to what's possible in it. So.
But what does that even mean when you're really push it? I mean, we were driving over a giant boulder field.
I know. Basically,
That field was intimidating as heck,
anybody
so,
would be like, that looks like you could maybe go up it, and then they would just go right up it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I will say though,
The
like,
auto helps. You're right.
the spotters that pulled their weight hard
Oh, 100%.
that weekend
I
for sure.
almost enjoy spotting.
I know, it's
people
fun.
more than
I do too.
driving.
Equally as
like
fun.
in it, just
Because you're part of it, but then you get to be the outside perspective too. Like,
Yeah, like you're spotting me, filming me, and I just like get a tire sky high, and you just laugh.
I did the and then you're like, your face went ghost white. I was like, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. You did a good job scaring me.
Yeah, I did that to your wife.
Thank you for that. That was really great.
Hey, I think I yelled at one point when you were coming down. I don't know if it was Chicken Rock, but it was a steep one, and she was starting to freak out already. And I was like, "It's gonna get worse before it gets better."
Yeah, that like mini lion's back.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Yeah, you came down and I went up.
That's the one you went up. That was
crazy.
crazy going up it because it was just such a weird.
Well, the day before on like
off-camber.
Friday, I think it was like I was headed down. I was like, I don't think I can do it. I'm not doing it. I turned around.
Yeah. I think going down it was easier than what you did because you have to go up it. You can't see nothing.
Yeah.
Can't see nothing out your side window, and then you have to do that turn, just kind of hoping that your spotters are kind of getting your tires where you have to go, and you still can't see nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of sketchy.
It's just
Mine was easy.
it's all just wild. Just the going from, I mean, the wheeling that I did before, like, 10, 15 years ago was nothing compared to that
Rover
stuff we
days?
did this weekend. Yeah. In
The Ranger or the Rover days.
Yeah. I mean, like we were running, a Miller Jeep trail, like John Bull, like that was super
Yeah, but
gnarly.
that was a lot for your vehicle at the time.
Yeah, and then now it's like we go out there right by camp, and like you said, it's like, I think there's a line right there. Like, let's see if we could drive up, and we're walking, and I'm like, dude, I don't think we're gonna be able to make it up this, and then it just goes.
You're like, oh shoot.
So impressive.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna say, how about when? So you have the mindset of like, oh, I don't know if it can make it, and then your buddy does it.
Yeah,
You're like,
I know.
I gotta go.
Yeah. A little competitive nature.
Yeah,
for sure.
Scotty, did it hurt your ego when your brother-in-law was able to make
So
it?
he took he took the line that I wanted to take, but I kept getting like
Sure.
pinned
No,
trying to
sure.
back
Yeah,
up,
you were
and I was
smashing
like,
your tail light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had to do the
Bumper.
gas tank mod to get him up in.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
dude.
kind of forgot about it.
Whatever.
Yeah, so Adam bought that
ZJ.
ZJ?
It's a ZJ, yeah,
Where's
Grand
the
Cherokee.
WJ?
No, it's a ZJ. It's a Grand
W.
It's a ZJ.
No, it's a ZJ. It's like a late '90s Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
No windows. Or
No, it has windows, but it
Somewhere.
has the operating windows. So like the 4 operating windows are there. But
the back ones
the
are, like,
windshield,
blown out.
all the back windows. all
Somebody
that,
like kicked them out. It looked like they didn't remove them nicely.
Yeah, so, but he
I
just
got it.
picked that
But
thing
the
up.
gas tank is in like the rear cargo area, just floating around.
No, it had a ratchet strap on it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It was
One Harbor Freight ratchet strap.
sorry.
Had two.
Oh, okay.
Two Harbor
Somebody
Freight
was
ratchet
saying that
straps.
that's like the mod on those because then it gets the gas tank. Well, I mean,
Sick,
because the
dude.
gas tank hangs so low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of like a Bronco. Like it hangs so low, you either got to have a really good skid plate,
Yeah.
or you're
Or
putting
just
it in the
put it
back.
That's how the Super Duty is, unfortunately. But that's kind of like
Yeah.
what we were stuck with. But yeah, because
We
he was
can
like,
also
he was
put
getting-
it in the bed with
No,
ratchet straps.
I'm good with where it's at. But that was such a steep hill that it was drying out the pump basically.
Well, he didn't have a lot of fuel in it.
No, yeah,
That
but we
was part of the problem.
shimmed it up with some rocks.
I don't know. I did
Yeah.
put 5 gallons in
Strapped
it,
it down.
and it still had the same problem. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was
definitely
funny.
has a fuel pickup.
Yeah, I don't know.
problem
He
or
picked it
something.
up. He's obviously, I mean, he's been a Jeep guy for forever. He has owned a Grand Cherokee since I've.
He still has the white one, right?
He still has the white one.
Still
He
has the
had
white
one before the white one. He he wanted a beater like the rest of us. You
No,
know,
I'm
it
blaming
was
it, yeah.
cheap. It was in Lucerne already, so all he had to do was come down and pick it up, and he had it for the weekend. You know, it was like so.
I don't blame him. That thing's.
Yeah.
We had fun. I think all of us had fun, including him trying
It's
to get
got,
that thing
it's
up.
got good bones. It's a little rough,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
he'll get it in line. He'll make one good one out of the two of them.
Dare I say it's the roughest one out of the group, but it could be nice. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's just like the kicked out windows look.
Right.
That was
It's pretty cool.
It was very just neglected looking. You
Yeah.
know.
Little Mad Max.
And he was telling me the guy that he bought it from was like, yeah, I just wanted it to be safe for my kids, like, you know, so the window broke. Like, I'm like, copy
Okay,
that.
cool.
Just have jagged glass all over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
like. Oh, safe for the
Anyways.
kids, huh?
It's tempered.
Yeah. But yeah, and then so Saturday when we were wheeling right by camp, we send Mikey up that little canyon or wash.
Sure.
He makes it up. Then I go, made it up relatively no issue.
You did good. Well, the thing was, well, Mikey took that right line.
Yeah.
Which was definitely more aggressive.
Oh yeah.
With
Like
the
walking
40s.
it
yeah.
after, because I didn't even walk it before. I
Yeah.
just drove down there, and you guys set me up it, which was cool. But then I was like walking it. I was like, why did they send
Yeah.
me this way? This is gnarly. But obviously, anyway.
But you like maintained.
Sure.
You were pretty level,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
the line that I took was like
Oh.
super off camber.
I think
sure.
his wider track width actually helped in that situation.
Yeah.
Because it kind of got up on that ledge and leveled him out more. But then you tried taking that line. I think we just thought.
I just
this
got like in
left
that
line-
hole.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
you
got
fell
tough.
in that hole, and I couldn't get your rear tire to climb up, and you just kept 3-wheeling, so we backed you down.
Yeah, and so then ended up driving out of that, pretty much zero issue. Then we send this guy up
Yeah.
with all the horse torques.
Yeah, it did good.
No issues. It
did
went
well.
right up.
It went right up until that hard right, and then the big burly truck. We had to do like a Austin Powers move, and I think like full crank up that slick rock, and just I didn't
Yeah.
even really give any gas.
No,
was just
I think
enough
it
to
was
just-
like a no traction thing, and then that poor U joint.
yeah. It was at full. It was at like
Yeah.
full degree, and you know those are. I don't know. They've been on the truck since I bought it with 200. The truck's got 250K, so who knows how many miles are on
Yeah.
those. And that truck's had a lot of rust on it when I got it, so I'm sure those things have never been greased.
Yeah, that was an old farm truck, so
Yeah.
that thing probably saw a lot of farm 4-wheel drive miles.
Broke the axle, broke the stub axle, and
It was violent.
yeah,
I was
it
standing,
sounded
like-
pretty.
I was like 10 feet away from
You
it.
know what though? Like, yeah, being in the truck, I was like,
Yeah,
that sounds expensive. That sounds
sure.
expensive. Yeah,
For sure.
And then you always get. Then somebody was like, "You're done."
That's me.
You're like, ah, all right.
As soon as I heard like a bang, 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 I was like,
You're done.
That was locker
that's
gravel.
broken shit.
But honestly, not that expensive of a fix. As we learned, even upgrading, so you can swap out. It's a direct swap for F450 axles that actually run like a 1550 big
Big
U
boy
joint,
U-joint,
big
yeah.
U joint.
Got it.
So I was looking into the chromoly route and all this stuff, but you know, if I'm going to spend a bunch of money on the Dana 60, I want to go 40 spline. I want to change the carrier. So I was like, factory axles with the bigger U joint, we probably should be okay for now.
For now.
So that's what we're going to see how it lasts. Yeah.
Well, as long as you don't keep, figuring out what this guy's
Yeah.
Explorer could do up in the ante.
Dude, I think it works good.
Yeah,
man.
no, it does. It's just right up.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah, again, I'd like to maybe sometime between now and summertime, I would like to take it over to some of the bigger trails and just kind of see, like, again, not like it's limitations. The limitations are going to be me. Obviously, I have zero, experience rock crawling, but I'd like to see, like, when it starts to struggle a little bit, like what that looks like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta keep going.
Yeah,
until
for
you
sure.
kind of get stopped.
For sure. Yeah, I wanted to do.
So we're going to
some of the-
backdoor.
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe not backdoor, but some of the more mild hammer trails for sure. I want to start with those.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
What is a more mild hammer trail?
like Jack,
Turkey.
or what were you? Yeah, you guys ran Jack.
Turkey.
there, right?
Turkey.
No, yeah,
Turkey's pretty
I've only done
easy.
turkey claw
Turkey
there,
claw.
and every time I've gotten body damage. I don't know what.
Jackhammer, I mean, because the weekend before when I went with my family, I was trying to do like parts of jackhammer, like the most of like the waterfall part, but it's big when you're
It's
on it.
big.
It's
No,
when
for
you're on
sure.
it.
And then you look at that, and then you go over to backdoor, and you're like, oh,
Dude,
that's
well,
really
backdoor is
big.
like a 13-foot hole now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
super
insane.
decked
And it's kind of funny because if you're like looking at you're standing up like where you park, and then you walk down there and you're looking at it, you're like,
Don't
oh,
look
it
that
doesn't
bad.
even look that bad.
Until
And then
you
you get that hole,
pit,
and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
then you exactly.
what the heck
You
is-
stand in that hole, and you look up, and you're like, that's really.
Who's getting their
up.
tires up there? That's insane.
And then I think it was Tommy, like way back in like I don't know, probably like 2010 or 12. He's like, yeah, like my buddy that's got Toyota dual cases. He's just like basically just get your front wheels up, double low, second gear, and just pin it. And I'm just like, what?
What?
That's how you do that apparently. And then you just kind of
We
hope it
were out
walks.
there. We were out there probably 2014, King of the Hammers, after the event, and it was all the Naxja guys. I went out there with Jesse Azarva, and one of the guys came from back east, had a beautiful XJ that he made a pickup bed, tailgate in the back. I mean, this thing was nice on 37s, stock wheelbase. So what are those things, like 105-inch wheelbase?
So you made a Comanche?
They're pretty sharp. Yeah, but like it was a
Out of it,
four-door
yeah.
Comanche.
Oh, that's
Real clean. Did a great job on it. And he's like, dude, I've never been here before. I'm probably never going to be able to come back. It's a 3,000-mile trip for him or whatever it was.
That's brutal.
He went for it on back door and flopped over backwards. He wasn't like super bummed, but it was
It'd be cool to
back
see
over.
like
It was a whole deal.
like a satellite like time lapse of what that place has changed over 10
yeah.
years of
And it
racing
was
on it.
It's nothing like
Dude.
it is now. It was big then, but it's now. It's
I bet you that
3
hole's
feet
probably,
deep.
yeah, I was gonna say that hole's probably 3 feet deeper.
I think it's 3 feet deeper.
just all those
Insane.
trails over there. Like we were April, we went to Hammers. After we did KOH, ran Turkey Claw, came back in April, completely different trail, and then fast forward, we were just there. The weekend after Thanksgiving, and I'm like, this is a different trail. I mean, and that's the easiest trail there. That's what's crazy. Like,
It's just constantly changing.
Yeah, and then try to run that trail like right after the event. It's going to be hammered, so.
Well, dude, just going out like that where I broke the truck, like how many rocks did I end up moving? Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, just
Yeah.
kicking, bolting.
Yeah, you changed that trail.
I'm just like, oh,
I mean, every time a truck goes,
it's like pitching out a boulder.
Especially something like that. That was just a boulder field.
yeah, that was crazy. Bunch of loose rock, but.
But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, you grenade your axle and you're like 3/4 of the way done with the little trail. Like it was super short trail.
I was there for maybe 12 hours.
Yeah, and then so this
grenaded it out.
We're like
Yeah,
trying to
axle.
figure out like how to get you out, which was the best way.
That was crazy.
And then we figured out that just to kind of continue out the trail. So Mikey, you're in 3-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Mikey's winching you. And he's with the Explorer. He's pulling you up, and at the end, I think you're kind of pulling. He was kind
Oh,
of
buddy,
pulling
I
you.
was like about to be like, this is all I got. I was going to yell down to you, and you just were like
God.
able to like crest out. And I was like,
A little
oh
bit,
man,
yeah.
good. Because
That was a relief for me.
I was going to have him come, but then your steering, bro, it was like a whole shenanigan.
And so we got to talk about the elephant in the room here, and it's the weight of your truck.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's just-
it's heavy. Yeah.
I got an 8,000-pound winch, and I was like, buddy, I ain't,
No,
I
I
can't pull
know.
you up.
But I was impressed with that winch actually. Yeah, that thing worked good. But
Yeah.
Gotta pull
yeah,
up the snatch block.
truck is
I thought about it. I do have one. So.
Yeah.
But I like it works good though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have any complaints. It, obviously pros and cons to like both a light truck, a heavy truck, but for me wanting to do kind of like both things, I think that's why it does. That's why it does the whoop thing pretty well because it has like that
Oh, for sure.
sprung weight. But because I'm gonna like you guys obviously tune shocks a lot, but I would imagine having a light vehicle like a Jeep or a Toyota with full-size axles and 40s is going to be a nightmare to tune in the whoops, right?
Like all your unsprung weight versus sprung weight,
it's so sensitive to, you know what I mean? So, but great for crawling, right? You've got low center of gravity and like all, so there's definitely pros of that. But yeah, I have no problems with the weight of the truck. If it lands on its roof, I mean, I do have the roll bar, but my thing is just like the safety of that is like more probably the scary part. But other than that, like I don't, you know, I'm not scared of it. It's going to get heavier too. So,
dude, some of the people on Instagram are scared of the weight slip.
I don't know.
I don't know why. They're skeptical.
Why is that
the pot with that thing?
Dude, why? Yeah, I don't know why. Like it was just like I don't know if they're just like there's no way it works as good as it does being that heavy or.
I just think certain people have these big full-size diesel truck rigs, and they're like, how can this smaller diesel truck weigh more than my truck? But they're also thinking about their truck, their unloaded truck. I mean, the truck is just a truck.
I have so
much
stuff in my truck.
in it. Full camping gear.
I still want to put
spare parts.
I want to do spare axles, spare drive lines, spare maybe some accessory drive units, like you know, do a T-case mount. It still doesn't have a winch.
Doesn't have a belly skid.
It doesn't have a belly skid. It doesn't have. What else do we want to put on that thing? You know, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, arguably that truck will be over 9,000 pounds for sure by the time we're done without me in it. You know, and I'm okay with that because like when I first built that truck, I knew it was going to be heavy. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be
9,000 pounds.
But like, look at like the Dakar Unimog trucks or whatever. Those things are 20,000 pounds. Yeah. And granted, they're like probably 8 inches of travel.
The Oshkosh trucks, you're saying?
Yeah,
the big ones. Yeah.
Kamazis or whatever, but like those things are like a 13-liter diesel, like 250 gallons of fuel, and they're racing Dakar. Like,
and it's full of all the spare parts for their real race car.
Yeah,
and parts for them.
It's like, but it's like so like you can get anything to it. Weight doesn't. It's all relative with like shock tuning and everything like that. I'm gonna say it's probably easier to tune a heavier truck, or it's gonna be less sensitive to changes.
Well, it's not about a heavier truck. It's about your weight.
Right.
Your unladen weight.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, I don't know.
But yeah, that was the final number wasn't it 8740 or
8740, and that was after I drank all the beer over the weekend. Like, that was like a pretty empty cooler in the back, you know?
I know, could be over 9,000 pounds full cooler.
Don't tell them.
What is that truck stock?
Well, so like,
what was it?
So that truck, when I first bought it, regular cab, long bed, on like.
What does it show on the registration?
And honestly, I don't ever know. But I did put it on a cat scale when I first bought it, bone stock, and it was like 7,300 pounds.
I would have guessed 7.
Yeah, it was like 7,300 pounds.
Single cab, long bed.
But there's guys on there like, oh, my OBS crew cab 7.3 only weighs 6,500 pounds. I'm like, that's totally fine, but like you have no idea how much, even just from the beginning of the Super Duty era to the end of the Super Duty era, so like 2099 to 2016, the trucks have gotten exponentially heavier because of granted they grew the gross vehicle weight rating, so that means bigger brakes, bigger cooling. The cooling systems on these
two radiators.
They got double radiators, I got 2 separate water systems for an intercooler. You know, all of the safety stuff. How many airbags are on my truck versus like a 99 truck? Right. All the computers on it, like all that stuff is the brakes have gotten
frame,
the U-joints, the axle's gotten bigger. Everything has gotten so much bigger. The Super Duty isn't the same because that body looks the same. Like they have changed a lot of things. Right. So a modern diesel in most situations to be able to like meet these DOT like GVWRs, the gross vehicle weight ratings, have to like get heavier to accommodate all that.
I don't know if you guys noticed all these new trucks. The noses are just so
because
big.
they're cooling. Their radiators,
they have bigger radiators and bigger.
They're getting taller. That's all for a purpose, you know. So
they can tow more, faster, easier.
40,000 pound combined vehicle weight ratings. You know, like that's insane. That's a lot of weight. You know. So back in the day, it was like 20K or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Dude, my OBS is 9,800 gross.
Gross vehicle, but not combined.
Of course, I'm just saying, like, that's it. Like, that's how much my truck could be with something in the back of, like, that's nothing.
And now they're like 14, 15. Just gross, just truck alone with payload. You know what I mean? So
my new 450 is like almost 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of weight. You know?
Double.
Yeah, it's a new 450.
Yep, got a new 450.
New to you.
New to me. 13 cabin chassis. it's an XL bone stock.
Yeah.
Crank windows. It's very utilitarian. It's perfect for my life.
You're just using it for towing, though.
Using it.
It's honestly the perfect.
And it's got the service bed already.
It's got the service bed.
Sweet contractor rack on it.
It's all gone now.
Oh,
yes.
it?
Oh yeah.
Already gone?
Oh yeah. I stripped it all over the weekend.
Man.
How you gonna tow a fifth wheel with a
Yeah,
contractor drag, bud?
I can't tow my. I need to.
Can't do it.
This weekend I need to tow the fifth or my gooseneck to see how all that goes. So then, come New Year's, like I can hook up and go.
You're just gonna go around like the 23 to the
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do something.
burn fuel.
Pull it around a little bit.
Sweet 8 miles per gallon.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe if you're lucky.
I wonder. So, and you towed your crawler hauler. Crawler? Not really a crawler
It's a
hauler.
crawler hauler.
exactly
For
what
sure
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like fifth wheel, but it's like a legit
That's
fifth wheel.
super nice.
It is a travel trailer fifth wheel on a big ass gooseneck
Yeah.
equipment trailer.
And so you towed that for the first time with your
OBS.
OBS.
Did it, no problem. No problem. I was so blown away. I was like, man, this is so much better than my old bumper pole equipment trailer with the Lance camper in the back.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But the weight of it is just obviously way too much.
Sure.
It's too much for that little truck.
Yeah. But
Fine now.
But it pulled it fine.
Fine tomorrow. You probably find next year. But yeah, I mean, I'm on borrowed time with that thing.
And so you've got the OBS up for sale?
The OBS is up for sale.
Okay. Well, anybody listening to this podcast soon need a sweet truck. The thing is,
It's honestly dialed. I love that thing.
It's pretty set up for what it is.
Very
for sure.
sad that I need to get rid of it. I don't need to get rid of it, but I'm very sad that I should get rid of it. I have no use for it.
I got
I
it.
don't drive it. It just sits. It's sad. My baby.
The real problem is it doesn't have those parking spots.
Yeah. Should have
Maxed out, dude.
Should have bought a bigger house.
Your 2 driveways are running out of space.
Yeah. Need to do some home
Yeah.
home upgrades.
2 off-road trucks, 2 service body trucks. You know.
I know.
Your wife's car.
Tommy just bought that 12 F-150 for me. Got to go get that thing.
Oh yeah.
What? What
Yeah,
do
you
you got
didn't.
there?
Yeah.
I got Tommy bought a
Explorer
2012 F-150 with a 3.7 V6 and a 6R86 speed. That's
Okay.
going to be the drivetrain swap for the Explorer one day.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are gonna drag race when you both are
Are
done
you just gonna
swapping.
Yeah. Want to get the motor in
Yeah,
someday?
What's up?
Yeah. I
Someday
need to do
soon.
that. Hey, the 4Runner made another trip.
I know.
You know, back to Thanksgiving. It
Sounded arguably worse than the mouse though.
Yeah, it's not
And
great.
puffed a lot of
Not
smoke.
great. There's oil in it though.
That's how you know there's
Good
oil.
then.
When it stops
Puffing
coming
smoke.
out of the tailpipe,
Yeah.
you have problems.
It's still crawled up everything.
It's still crawled up everything.
And
And then full manual steering, we learned.
Oh yeah. So we gotta go back. So
what?
Bruce.
You didn't notice he had full manual steering that whole weekend?
No. Well, okay.
This
So
guy's Popeye over
Bruce
here.
breaks his axle. You winch him out. While you're like, oh, I don't know if I have enough to pull you out. I drive around, park next to you, and I'm gonna hook up to him too. So we're like double winch pulling. He doesn't end up needing me, so he drives up, and so I'm like idling down this little hill, like back to the road, and I'm like steering along, and all of a sudden my steering wheel's just like zzz, it just spins. The rag joint snapped or broke.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how that didn't happen on any of the other trails that we did.
I know.
Yeah, how did
The
that?
trail that I had just driven up, but something's up with the steering box or the pump. And basically what we did was we pulled the rag joint and just kind of hard mounted it and drove it for the rest of the weekend. It was fine.
Is that a forever fix?
I have another rag joint from the truck I parted out, so I'll probably
But
swap it out.
I think you should try to fix your power steering issue before you put that rag joint in there and just to destroy that again. Because
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah,
the
there's a-
Popeye
there's a
is the thing.
problem.
You're really cranking on
Power
that
steering
wheel.
right here.
I know.
Yeah.
He's a
No,
muscular man.
I've been hanging out with olive oil and eating spinach. So,
Brutus.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know what's up, and I don't know if it's the shitty like AutoZone pump. And I have that trail gear pump to put in, and I have the bracket to put it on the 22RE. But if I'm swapping in the 3RZ, then it's like, what are we doing here?
So what? So the 3RZ, the power is like, what are we talking about here?
50 extra horsepower.
Yeah.
It's like, is
But
it
how much more torque?
torqueier though?
It's more torquey.
Cool.
I don't know
That's
the
obviously
exact
like the big
numbers.
winner.
Yeah, And just the overall drivability of that.
It's gonna
motor
be-
will
But it's just
better.
a more modern,
Yeah, of course,
it's a more
that-
modern engine, and
It's-
then you can also your additions to it to zoop it up to like make it better.
Do they have
Well,
like a good aftermarket?
it's
for,
I mean, you can put a
OBD2.
supercharger on
oh,
it
sick. Okay.
if you wanted to.
It's going to be just like any other modern motor,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like it takes normal gaskets.
Yeah, like MLS.
You're not RTVing stuff back on like the old
Yeah.
Toyotas, which is, obviously a lot of stuff, as you guys probably know, working on these things, there's not a lot of seals on these 22RE motors. A lot of stuff is you just clean the mating surface and you put RTV on it, put your part on there, and that's great in
let
theory,
the oil
because it's
leaks
like
get
it's nice.
crusty
You never have a
and
gasket
you're
you got to
good.
worry about, but
Self gasket building.
RTV isn't a permanent solution.
So what did this motor come in?
It was in his red 4Runner.
That.
Tacomas, 4Runners.
Okay, a minute. Oh, that was in the red one, and then you have the 3.5 with
Yeah, the
super-
pre-runner originally was a 3RZ Auto,
Got it.
and I swapped in what came out of Fiona.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay. Because the motor that came in Fiona was not obviously that. Well, Fiona would have been
was
a 22
3.4
R.
swap.
No, that was a 3-liter.
No.
Oh, okay.
That was a V6 back in the day, the
Ah.
3-liter V6.
Got you.
The 3-point slow, as the Toyota guys they like to call them.
Not too healthy.
But yeah, I mean, I've just been going through it as far as, like there's a zillion different, solutions to a problem when you have two trucks, a couple
Oh,
different
yeah.
motors.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, blew the motor in the mouse, and I have the 3RZ sitting on an engine stand. It's been sitting in the garage for 4 years, 3 years.
4 years.
I think it's 4
Yeah,
years.
actually, it's been a while. Huh?
Yeah,
And so,
2020, so it's been
so
4 years.
like knee-jerk reactions, like, all right, I'm gonna put the 3RZ in the mouse, and then we take the 4Runner out, and you guys just give me shit for the thing just is like nonstop vaping out the tailpipe.
It is.
And I look at the let's say the mouse is in perfect condition. We go on this Thanksgiving trip. I'm still gonna take the 4Runner because I can fit the whole family in. And so
And it's not
kinda-
only that, it's like if you're going to go on an adventure and you're going to bring, we'll say you're going to bring the mouse. You're probably going to tow the mouse out. Tow it or flat tow it, whatever, however you plan on getting it out there. You're not driving it. But the 4Runner, you might drive it somewhere with your family.
Sure.
And that's where the more modern motor would be nice.
Yeah,
Not so much the
it
desert.
just-
I think it's going to be the jumping on the freeway,
Sure.
cruising the freeway.
Yeah,
That's gonna
I mean,
be,
I rode with Nick when we did the Rubicon trip, and I mean that thing cruises down the highway going 75, 80, like no problem. Like you don't even need a downshift up most hills. Whereas 22RE, you're like grabbing gears, trying to make it happen.
grabbing
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, But
I know.
so my kind of game plan that I've come up with is to take the 4Runner motor out, the 22RE, put the 3RZ in the 4Runner, and then rebuild that 22RE
For the mouse.
and put it in the mouse.
with a
And,
turbo.
and then well, yeah.
With turbos.
But the thing
Everything's
is
turbos.
for the mouse, it's like I know that if let's say I did put the 3RZ in, it's not gonna. I don't think it's just gonna drop in. I think there's gonna need to have
There's
some
more
fab work
fabrication involved in putting it in this
with
truck
the
than it
engine
would be the
cage and
4Runner.
all that, and then I know it's like, okay, I have more power. Okay, well then I should go 35s. Okay, then there's definite tubes that need to be moved in the engine cage to make that happen, and then it's just a whole domino effect. I mean, I've been around this sport long enough to know you change one thing. Somebody puts Randy Shields had 1404. He had what was it? The Blitzkrieg.
Center mount kit.
Center mount kit with links with a 22RE. He's literally pinned through everything, and then drops an LS in it, and then the whole thing just is like
breaks everything.
breaks everything. It's just a domino effect. So the way I look at it is like the mouse is with the 22RE, drop a fresh one in with a turbo, because
Yeah.
why not? We'll
low
see.
boot, low boost. I think it'll be fine.
But yeah,
$200 on Amazon. Just saying.
Those Wuhan whirly boys.
Yes, way. Wuhan whirly
Is that
boy's
what you-
better than no whirly
That's
boy.
right.
You know?
Hey,
Amen,
call
bro.
it?
I'm not arguing here.
But yeah, so that's the current game plan. But it's
I like it.
I started it up. I flat towed it, down here to the shop and started her up, and she doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound that bad until you kind of give her a little.
Oh,
breath.
yeah.
Little Marvel mystery oil won't fix it, or what?
That's how the rod knock was on my Bronco. It was like, I was like, oh, I definitely rod knocked it. And then I got home and I started it and I was like, oh, it's not that bad. And then I put it into like reverse because I just needed to move it in the driveway or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow, it's bad when you like actually apply throttle. And you're like, ooh, and it's under load. It gets real bad.
But see, my question, and not that I'm looking to just completely grenade a motor, is like, it's kind of an experiment. Like, how long, like, let's say I change the oil, how long would it drive as it sits? Could be like 10 minutes?
No,
Could last a trip.
We're talking about a 22 RE here.
I know.
Wait,
It's
hasn't
like,
this experiment been done before?
I'm sure. It's like a cockroach.
Yeah.
I bet you could drive it to the desert and back. I think it's going to be in a lot worse condition when you get back than when you first leave. But I bet you it makes it under its own power.
This is Toyota, what you do for me.
Because you probably spun a bearing, and that crank or rod or whatever bearing is spun is going to start moving around. It's just going to only get worse.
Yeah.
That thing's gonna seize up and send a rod out the side of the block. This is gonna happen, buddy. Robbing it earlier.
We're not going to do
These
it.
things don't make any power, so it's like, is it really going to do that? You know?
It's inertia, dude.
Put a window in the block.
Yeah, that's cool. Peekaboo.
Yeah. Then it's kind of hard to rebuild that motor. You know, when there's a hole in the side of the.
Yeah. For
But you have one that's. I mean, you technically have two.
two 22 REs.
Yeah. And in all reality, you don't even know. Like, you probably could tear that thing apart, and it may not be that bad. You might be able to polish the crank or throw a crank in it, and everything else is good to go. You know, hone the walls and.
They're a dime a dozen.
I know.
That's the good thing.
The problem is the time isn't the dime a dozen right now.
agree.
The time and the funds, to throw towards that, and especially
I think the route you're going is the most logical when it comes to talking about time.
100%. And in the meantime, I'm going to stay on Facebook Marketplace and I'm going to find you a 22 RE for like $500 and I'm going to convince you to buy it and we're going to throw it in this thing in a day. And then at least your truck is drivable.
But those,
again.
correct me if I'm wrong, they did have a turbo option. What is it?
Yeah.
Yes, is that not? But is it
You
different
can throw
motor?
a turbo on these super easy.
I was gonna say these
super
are
quick.
pretty
Easy
robust.
there,
They're
whirling
pretty-
boy.
All you
Listen,
need-
buddy,
all
we'll
you
make it
need is
happen
the
for you.
manifold.
Ryan
and that's it.
Rouse's little
yeah.
Toyota started as a
That's a little
still a
scooter.
turbo, but started as a bone stock 22
Yeah.
RE turbo. Yeah.
Okay. That's
No,
the
they're
perfect
pretty
candidate.
Cool. They're pretty. Actually, the blow-off valves are cool. Yeah.
Okay, easy Toretto.
Yeah. It's more of a Jesse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He is more of a.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, so
MIT.
anyways, back to the Thanksgiving deal. What do you guys think for next year for a venue? Cougar Buttes is pretty rad.
You know, I'm ready to get back to Cougar Buttes because I just feel like because you're there and you just see like.
I just
these
don't want to
sections.
wear. I don't want to wear it out, but
No.
it was pretty great.
I feel like there's so
I
much
can
we
go- we
didn't
can go back.
touch.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Again, we only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
I feel like if we camped at a different spot,
Yeah.
it'd be like we went somewhere totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I'm with Scott. We'll camp somewhere 2 miles different than where we did, and it will be like, oh my god,
Because
this is
we
great.
camped there how many times for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we didn't
That's
camp. Exactly, we didn't
Second
camp in
time.
that same
This is only
spot.
second time.
Oh, I've been there a couple times. Well, we've camped there for King of the Hammers.
We've camped there quite a few times for King Hammers.
We watched the race. 2019, the race actually went through to Cougar Buttes, and they crawled on one of those sections. I think that was my first time being there. The Thanksgiving where it snowed.
Yeah, so
That
our
was
first
rad. So
Thanksgiving
that
there.
was cool. And then I feel like there might have been one other time we camped there. Maybe not.
I think it was another King of Hammers.
But like when I showed up, because I showed up late this year, and it was nighttime. When I woke up, I was like, "Where are we?" I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
here
yeah.
before.
Yeah,
Like what
we
part of
were
Cougar
like
Buttes is this?
We were
maybe
literally-
a mile from where
Yeah,
we
but I was-
usually
but I
camp, but
was
it
less. Yeah.
But I was like,
it might
I've
as well
never
be-
seen this
exactly.
terrain. It looks sick.
Exactly.
I felt like a new place to camp.
Yeah.
You know, it was really rad.
and it's way, not way closer, but it's like 45-hour closer than Johnson Valley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Off of Boone.
Yeah, Booth. Yeah, track over there.
But yeah, so I don't know if that's the spot or we'll figure
it's the
something
spot for
else
now.
out. But
Well, for now.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see where we're at in 6 months or whatever, 7 months. See what we're getting ourselves into.
That's right.
See what will acquiesce to what the group wants. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we're in hover trucks by then, and we're gonna want to go somewhere different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know we would all have rock crawlers at this point, so it's hard to know.
I mean, I really like Afton Canyon though too. Every time we go there, I'm like, this place is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be some crawling out there too, right?
Maybe.
I love Basin Razor Road.
Yeah,
Can't
it's always
do that.
fun because you get like pretty mixed terrain. I do like the diverse terrain for me. When you get a little taste of everything, that's fun.
Calico.
I've been saying Calico, but everyone's saying isn't a lot of it pretty regulated?
I mean,
It's just.
But there is a lot of
OHV
crawling. You're
is
not
small.
wrong. Yeah,
I'm just saying there's
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 sick
crawler
crawling.
options.
There's crawler
yeah,
stuff there.
Dude, I'm down. I'm
So
always game for.
I mean, I don't know
I'd
for like
love to see
holiday
if I can-
weekend.
yeah, holiday weekend might be.
Nah, that'd
See,
be tough.
so that's the issue. Like we said in the beginning, like you have these rad places, and it's like, okay, you go to these cool places, and it's like the problem is it's just so crowded because
And
there's cool stuff.
Cougar Buttes was kind of wild.
Yeah,
If you wanted to go fast,
yeah.
it was pretty wild.
And I felt like this year, in comparison to the year I think it snowed, or we went on like another, not maybe it was just another holiday weekend. It was insane, and like this year was relatively chill. And I don't know if it was just because we were like in that cove.
Pocket. Yeah.
I think because we were in the cove, because I was giving rides out in Stevie Boy's Ranger to a couple
Yeah.
people at the camp, and it was pretty crazy how many people were just blasting around at the middle of the night, like with complete disregard to like what's around them.
I don't know, that group that kind of sheared off the tie rod on the razor and came blasting.
my
Those
God.
guys are pretty wild.
Dude, the dad luckily wasn't driving,
No,
but
thank
he was
God.
like just struggling to put together his sentence, and then he's like,
It's like talking to a caveman.
my
Dude.
14-year-old son is driving, and I was like, oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that was pretty funny. So we're
was
all hanging
hilarious.
out around the fire, and there wasn't that many of us. There were only like
It was getting later.
like 8 of us or something. And so we see this like Jeep cruising around.
The trailer.
Well, no, he cruised around, and then he came back with the trailer, and he's like backing in. We're like, what the hell is this?
Well, he
guy
kept going to like the
Yeah, he was
rock
just-
sections. Like, there's
exactly.
nowhere to go.
Well,
over
he
there.
doesn't know, he can't
Yeah.
see, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Is that it?" You know.
I'm like, what are you doing with this trailer
But
over there?
so we all like 5 or 6 of
Yeah.
us end up like walking over there, and it's like it's just that thing about I don't know if it's like just off-roading or just our group or what, but it's like if something's going on or broken or someone's stuck, like I just don't know why, but I want to go be involved
Yeah,
in
and
some.
see if we can
It's
fix
fun.
it.
That's
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah.
fun.
And so I was, we go over there, and I'm like playing tie rod because the
Yeah,
dude's
yeah.
friggin'
Just
just got a
wheels
front
just-
flipper, and so I'm like keeping the wheels straight while it goes onto the trailer.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that was
I don't know why. Why do
that
I
was
do
pretty
this?
funny.
Like why does that continue to happen? Like,
I'm here for it though.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have splinted it
With
with some hose clamps,
I think a bunch of us kind of
tape.
like flaunt.
Yeah.
And zip ties.
Yeah, Flaunt came out. That was cool.
That was great.
That was cool to see
That was
him.
awesome.
Love to see them.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, it was. I mean, overall, it was I guess a pretty low key trip, but
Yeah.
we had a good turnout. We do a big like Thanksgiving dinner, like five or six turkeys. We set it all up on tailgates and stuff, and the chili cook off. Bruce was the deciding vote.
Like, well, I literally showed up because it was like Friday night, and I walked up, and it was like they needed a tiebreaker, and I think I was the only one that didn't try chili. And they're like, "You're gonna pick who the winner is." I'm like, all the pressure.
On the spot.
Yeah. So I don't remember whose I picked, honestly, but it was good, delicious.
It was ours. It was Kayla's.
Oh, was
Yeah.
yours? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. Dude, totally.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah.
mean your soup you made?
Yeah, it was
white
soup.
soup?
Yeah.
It was like gray looking. I was like, this was like biscuits and gravy, but
That's why I
tastes totally-
didn't vote for it. I'm like, chili isn't white.
You should be.
It was white chili.
Hey,
That's the
honestly,
thing.
next year
That's
we
the
should do it
thing.
blindfolded.
Yeah.
You can't do
White
like a
chili,
look.
that's a
It
thing.
should be pure flavor,
You know what
right?
also is a thing? Chili with beans, but doesn't mean it's good.
Nah, it's not real chili.
It's just chili's
That's
open
Great
to
Depression chili.
interpretation.
Yeah, that's like when you have no money. And
That's
you're
Great
like,
Depression chili.
Throw stuff in here that doesn't cost
That's what
anything.
chili is. It's just a bunch of
Like-
stuff in a pot.
That's World War II chili.
Yeah.
No.
Well, anyways, any other things that we missed going over here for our Thanksgiving extravaganza?
No, but just honestly, just thankful for all you guys and thankful that I have to look forward to this trip every single year.
Totally.
Try not to miss it. Don't think I ever have, but still, it's like something that you look forward to every year. And I would say it's probably our largest get together as far as people coming, and just love it. You
I
know?
think we've all lucked out with an awesome group of
Dude,
people
100%.
that we've been
100%.
able to develop
Yeah.
and keep it going
Yeah.
and stick together as we all grow families and whatnot.
And a solid group outside of camping as well. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody stays so connected, and it's like,
Yeah. I've known these guys, a lot of these guys, for so long that it's like now that everyone's life has evolved and there's kids just kind of running around, it's like no one's worried about, oh, my kid's, over by Scott's, trailer and Scott's kind of watching them, or The kids are over by my camp and they're playing in the dirt. It's like it's all good. I trust everybody. It's not weird. It's great.
Even the dog. It's crazy to me. Like even the dogs are like just free roaming and they all get along.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're
It's so
not.
nice.
No, there's just like never any like chaos or drama. It's just good.
Yeah.
Except for that, that was a little bit of chaos right there. I like that.
It's just a good group of people.
Didn't know it was so full.
Yeah. It's a good group of
It is.
people. I mean, and I mean, I don't know how we've gotten so lucky, but it's just like we've, just over the years.
Blessed, man.
Yeah, that's
Keep
pretty
it going.
pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, so that's a wrap, and so we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for
All right, cheers.
listening.